Prepared to storm into the woods and rescue Andy and Dan from Mr. Red, the group suddenly finds themselves face to face with...
Dan!
In the flesh.
What do we do, Natasha? These aren't dirt monsters. These are real people.
Lily's right. If we hurt them...
Yes. Don't hurt poor Tom. Make Andy sad.
Poor Andy.
Grinning, Ben nudges Tom and they both slink away into the trees. Cooper follows them a moment later. Alone, Dan looks at Natasha, his eyes glinting wickedly.
Friends.
Don't do this. Dan, come back to us.
Dan steps backward, deeper into the trees, vanishing into the dark.
Ugh, I don't like this.
Yeah, pretty sure nobody's stoked right now.
We can do this. I know we can. We just need to stick together.
Sure. That'll work right up to the point where Mr. Red's undead minions drag us into his lair like they did to Andy.
Ava's right. What happens if Mr. Red manages to separate us?
He's gotten pretty good at that.
It doesn't matter if we break apart, as long as we find each other again.
Natasha reaches out, gripping Noah's shoulder.
No matter what he throws at us, no matter how long it takes, we'll find each other. We will always find each other.
Natasha looks around at her friends, and one by one, they nod. Steeling herself, she strides forward into the trees. Fog swirls around their ankles as they wade deep into the forest. Ghostly laughter echoes softly between the trees.
Everyone, keep your eyes peeled.
Lily shudders, hugging herself against the cold.
If we get out of this, I'm never stepping foot in the woods again.
I mean, even after we save Andy and Dan, we're still gonna have to figure out a way to seal Mr. Red, right?
Don't think about that right now. We can't afford to get distracted.
The group stops in their tracks as wicked laughter rings in the air, seeming to come from every direction at once.
Hey, why did you come here and face us instead of sneaking around?
Fun.
Ben creeps out of the shadows, his teeth glinting in the dim moonlight.
Going to hurt. Break your bones.
So, how committed are we to the whole not murdering this guy thing?
Ava, we can't just kill people.
Lucas cracks his knuckles.
However, given that this is self-defense, I'm sure the authorities will understand if he loses a few teeth.
My man.
Ava cracks her knuckles, leering at Ben, who begins to chuckle.
What's so funny?
So brave. Not for long.
They hear more laughter behind them and turn to see Dan leaning against a tree, flanked by 4 snarling creatures.
Brought some friends. Play nice.
Fangs bared, the creatures bound forward, one heading straight for Natasha. Natasha begins to run with the creature chasing her as she jumps toward a tree and kicks it straight in the face.
Adios!
Wow, you're like a machine yourself.
What can I say? I take kicking monster ass pretty seriously.
Die, skeleton!
Natasha turns in time to see Noah using the wired bat and Lily use the small flamethrower at another creature.
Aren't they sort of dead already?
Less talking and more fire blast.
Lily uses the small flamethrower, burning the creature, and Noah uses the bat to finish it off. A few feet away, Ava uses the pole saw into the final creature's spine.
What? Is that it? We're getting way too good at this.
Natasha scans the clearing but sees no sign of Dan, Ben, or any more monsters.
Guess they snuck off while we...
Guys, wait! Someone's missing!
Whirling around, Natasha does a quick count of her friends.
Oh crap! Lucas!
Exactly! Did anyone see where he went?
He was just here a second ago.
I thought he was right behind me, but...
He's got to be close by. Lucas? Lucas!
Natasha hears a low chuckle and turns just in time to see Mr. Cooper vanish behind a tree.
One down.
Son of a...
Ava starts forward, but Stacy grabs her by the arm.
Don't! They're trying to separate us.
Damn it! Stacy's right. We need to...
Lily screams as Ben explodes from the bushes, putting her in a headlock.
Got you.
Ava starts forward, brandishing her pole saw threateningly.
Hold on! Ow! Ow!
A vine snaps around Ava's wrist, dropping the pole saw, biting into her skin. Natasha rushes over to Ava, snatching the pole saw and slicing through the vine in one quick motion.
Damn, Natasha! Nice move!
No problem.
Natasha gives Ava back the pole saw. Sneering, Ben starts to drag Lily toward the trees.
Help me!
Diving forward, Natasha manages to grab hold of Lily's hands.
I got you!
Natasha plants her feet, straining to hold on. All around her, the woods come to life with tangling vines and brambles. Noah curses as the vines wrap around his legs.
Get off me!
Natasha, I can't hold on.
Natasha's breath freezes in her chest as Lily's words drag her into a terrible memory.
Natasha, I can't hold on. I'm slipping.
Natasha shakes her head trying to clear it and feels Lily's hand slip out of hers.
Natasha!
A second later, she's gone, swallowed up by the dark undergrowth.
No, no, no! Ah!
Stacy screams and Natasha staggers as the woods suddenly shift around her.
The hell was that?
I don't...
The earth heaves beneath their feet, sending them crashing to the ground as the woods continue to spin.
What's happening?
They fall into darkness. The world fades back into existence around her. Shaking, she pushes herself to her feet.
Lucas? Noah? Stacy? Where are you?
Natasha's voice echoes hollowly in the empty clearing. And then another voice calls out from the trees.
All gone. Only me now.
Dan steps into the clearing, darkness swirling around him like smoke rising from fire.
Dan, I'm so sorry. We should have been there to stop this.
Sorry? No. Better this way.
He walks forward slowly, and Natasha starts backing away.
I know you're in pain, but...
No pain anymore. Just quiet. Can take your pain too. Your guilt. Take it all away.
No way. I'm not letting Red feel...
Dan lunges forward, but Natasha manages to dodge him.
Enough!
Natasha slams her fist into Dan's face. He recoils and turns to spit blood on the ground.
Damn you!
Dan tries to hit her back, but once again she dodges and he hits the tree.
Stop fighting!
Smoky shadows rise from Dan's skin, sapping his strength.
No!
Better this way. All better.
There must be a way to get through him.
Suddenly, Natasha hears John S. Phileas's voice again.
Set him free with nemesis. Love.
The love of our friendship. Dan, remember when we were kids? We used to be best friends. We played together almost every day.
Yes. Play together. With Mr. Red. Fun.
No, Dan! Playing with Mr. Red wasn't fun! It was twisted and wrong!
No! Fun.
Dan, think of what it was like before we met Mr. Red. The slumber parties, catching frogs in my backyard, trick-or-treating.
A flicker of a smile crosses Dan's face, followed by confusion.
Remember that Halloween when I dressed as Aerith and you as Cloud? I thought you'd be mad because I also dressed like a Final Fantasy character. But you called us the dynamic duo.
Dan staggers away from Natasha.
No. You stay away. Better this way.
No, Dan.
Slowly, Natasha walks toward him. Dan shies away, flinching as Natasha embraces him in a hug.
I'm not staying away this time.
Tears start to well up in his eyes as they embrace.
It's gonna be okay.
Natasha?
Soon, Dan's arms wrap around her. He hugs her tightly, warmth slowly bleeding back into his skin.
Natasha? What are you doing here? Oh, God.
Dan's legs suddenly give out. He sinks to the ground, his whole body shivering.
You shouldn't have come, Natasha. Mr. Red is back. We have to.
I know, Dan. That's why I'm here. How much do you remember?
Not much. Except, it's all my fault. I thought, but he's real. Isn't he?
He is. And he's hurt a lot of people. He kidnapped you from the hospital and he took Andy from homecoming.
Homecoming? Wait. Was I? How long was I asleep?
Something like 2 weeks? Jeez, it feels like this has been going on forever. But that doesn't matter right now. You're back, and now our friends need help.
Dan takes a deep, shaky breath. Still unsteady, he pushes himself to his feet.
Okay, let's go.
Are you sure you're up for it?
Yeah. Needs doing, right? I'm fine. Let's go.
Natasha looks at Dan. He stands, his whole body tense and his arms crossed, as if he's freezing cold but trying not to show it.
Dan doesn't look fine. I wonder if I could get him to open up some more. Dan, are you sure you're okay?
Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, not my best day ever, but...
Sit down for a sec.
Natasha, we can't deal with this right now.
We can't not deal with it. Now sit.
Dan sits down on the stump with a heavy sigh, fidgeting uncertainly.
All of this is my fault. I was the one who came back to the woods. I was the one who woke Mr. Red up again.
Probably. But so what?
So what? How can you possibly say that?
Dan, none of us have any idea how this works. We tried a lot of stuff that's backfired. We tried yelling at him, I tried reasoning with him. The other day, we even tried a magic spell.
Did that work?
It did not. There's only one way to do it, but...
Natasha explains to Dan the only solution to defeating Redfield, but there's no Phileas family left to perform the ritual.
So there's nothing we can do. It's impossible. It's all my fault.
It's not your fault. We're dealing with a monster none of us understand. Anything Redfield does to us is not our fault. It's his. Period.
Dan buries his head in his hands.
I thought I could get that night out of my head if I confronted it. I just want to get past it. I want to feel normal, but I can't. It's like my whole life is snagged on this one night 10 years ago. And I can't get away from it, no matter how hard I try.
Dan, I understand. It might not have stuck with me as hard as it did to you, but everything that happened still hurts me. Same goes for everyone. None of us got better. We're all dealing with it in our own ways.
Yeah?
Yeah. Especially Noah. You two should really talk sometime.
If we even make it out of this alive.
Don't say that. We're gonna get through this.
How do you know?
Because I keep saying it, and it keeps being true.
Dan smiles weakly, drying his eyes on his sleeve.
We should probably get going, huh?
Yeah, but can I ask you one last question?
Sure.
What happened when you came back here?
It's kind of a blur. I remember going to the ruins. I couldn't bring myself to go inside, so I dared Redfield to come out. And then he just did. Plain as day, right there in front of me, after 10 years of telling myself it was all a dream. He said something about wanting to play, and I just booked it. But the woods kept changing, and I couldn't get out. And then...
Dan shudders.
I spent all night running and hiding, and then they'd find me. And I run some more. I guess eventually I just passed out.
And then we found you.
Yeah. Then you guys found me.
Dan takes a deep breath, then gets to his feet.
Okay, that's enough bearing my soul for one day. Time to go find everyone.
You feeling any better?
Honestly, I'll feel better when we get the hell out of here. But this helped. Thank you.
Of course, Dan. Anytime.
Natasha reaches over to give Dan's arm one final squeeze before the two of them wade back into the dark woods. Natasha and Dan run through the woods, hearing voices calling out from all directions.
I'm gonna chop you into munch, you overgrown.
Is that Ava? I think she's close.
They find Ava fighting against a tangle of thorny vines hanging from the branches of a tree.
Natasha! I dropped the pole saw over there. I need...
The vines give a sudden jerk, lifting Ava off her feet. She yells, struggling as they reel her higher and higher off the ground.
Ah! What do we do?
Natasha rushes toward the pole saw. She yanks the starter handle and Natasha jumps toward the tree to the vine.
Dan, be ready to catch her.
With the pole saw's long reach, Natasha easily tears through the vines, ensnaring Ava's hands. She falls and Dan manages to catch her.
Nice save, Natasha.
Anytime.
Holy crap. You were so awesome. Like a superhuman. How in the...
It's a long story.
Oh, look, it's Dan. And he doesn't have a zombie face.
Yeah. Sorry about all that.
Ava shrugs indifferently, but Natasha catches a look of relief on her face as Natasha gives her back the pole saw.
Whatever. Good to have you back, I guess.
They all hurry away from the twitching vines. Lily's voice leads them to the base of a huge, gnarled tree.
I don't see her.
Here.
Kneeling down, they spot Lily crouching in a hollow space behind the tree's roots.
How the hell did you get in there?
I got away from Ben, and hid here, but then the roots.
Suddenly, the roots shudder around Lily, her hiding place starting to shrink.
Don't worry, we'll get you out of there.
Ava uses the pole saw.
Hold still, Lily. I'll have you out in 2 seconds.
Lily closes her eyes and the razor-sharp chain from the saw bites into the roots. In no time at all, Ava chopped a hole big enough for Lily to scramble through.
Wow, Ava, that's so badass.
Ooh, Lily said a bad word.
Glad we could save you, Lily.
Lily suddenly starts, her eyes widening as she looks at Dan.
Oh,
Hey, I'm sorry that...
Lily steps forward, pulling Dan into a tight hug.
I'm glad we found you, Dan.
Me too.
Now, let's go find the others.
Following the sound of shouting, Natasha finds herself back in the clearing, where Lucas has been cornered by one of Redfield's stone creatures.
Guys! Help me!
Mr. Cooper leans against a nearby tree, chuckling to himself. The group rushes forward as the stone creature growls, fist-sized rocks emerging from the earthy flesh of its hands. It flings a rock at Lucas's head. Natasha takes back the pole saw, running extremely fast, and crack! The rock shatters.
Too bad for you! I know your weaknesses now!
Charging forward, Natasha ducks under the next rock, then swings the pole saw on the creature's chest. The carved stone in its chest cracks, and the creature crumbles into pieces.
That was incredible, Natasha!
Don't mention it.
Easy to win when you cheat.
Mr. Cooper fades back into the trees with an angry hiss.
We have to figure out a way to help him.
Later. Right now, he's our enemy. He'll do anything to stop us from saving our friends and getting out of here.
Let's make sure he doesn't get the chance.
Mist rolls across the ground as they follow Stacy's voice through the dark trees.
Natasha? Anybody? Where are you?
Stacy, we're coming!
Something sticky clings to Natasha's ankles, and she looks down to see a thick mat of spiderwebs covering the ground.
Gross.
Why'd it have to be spiders?
It's been a bit of a theme lately.
Lily carefully steps around a spider-infested tree.
Just try to avoid them. They might not attack if...
They hear a rustling and Stacy crashes through the underbrush, frantically cutting spiderwebs with Ava's knife.
Ew, 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 ew!
Not looking where she's going, Stacy turns, running straight towards a dead bush that's covered in spiders and webs.
New plan. Stacy, stop!
Stacy looks up, her eyes going wide as she sees the spider-covered bush. Stacy skids to a stop and Lily flicks open the lighter. She shoots a hot plume of the flames right onto the bush, the dead wood and spiderwebs immediately catching fire.
Burn!
Spiders hiss and shriek, scattering in all directions. By the time the flames die down, there's not a single living spider in sight.
Wow. And I thought I knew all the weird ways to use hairspray.
They all pick their way through the sea of now empty webs to the other side. After leaving the spider-infested grove behind, they quietly make their way through the woods in search of Noah and Andy.
Stay together. I just found you guys. And I'm not about to lose you again.
No arguments here.
I'm just worried about Noah and Andy. We haven't seen any sign of them.
Maybe they found each other already and are laying low?
I'm gonna try texting Noah.
Pulling out her phone, Natasha realizes that she has a new text message.
Connor.
What is it? Is he alright? I tried to text him, but I think I broke my phone during the fight earlier.
Does he know what happened at the school after we left? I hope everyone else made it out.
I don't know.
Go ahead and answer if you want. We'll watch your back.
Natasha's thumb hovers over the text notification, unsure. Sighing, Natasha looks up from her phone.
Sounds like most people made it out of school okay. I guess they're sending a search party to...
Natasha's instinct kicks up and one of Redfield's skeletal beasts leaps out from behind a tree.
Natasha, look out!
Natasha jumps out of the way as Hilda shows up and bounds through the undergrowth. She slams full force into the creature.
Hilda! Holy crap! Am I glad to see you?
Hilda and the vine creature roll in the dirt, snarling and snapping. Hilda finally lands a powerful kick with her hind legs, launching the creature into the air. The creature flails, landing awkwardly on the ground and cracking several bones. It staggers upright, eyes blazing with fury.
Come on! We're ready for you this time.
A hulking shape flies into view, snapping and barking.
Reaper! There you are!
Reaper bears down on the injured monster, tearing into it with tooth and claw. Soon the creature is nothing but a scattered pile of bones. Reaper trots up toward Natasha, headbutting her gently in the leg.
Good boy. Cora would be very proud of you.
Hilda trots over to Reaper, and the two animals sniff each other with great concern.
I don't know if this is cute or weird.
Little of both.
Let's keep moving. I just gotta find my...
Natasha's phone lies on the ground nearby, its screen flashing with a new message notification.
Guys, it's from Andy!
Thank goodness! What did he say?
Natasha shows the text to everyone.
Are we sure that's actually him?
Well, be careful. Even if this isn't a trap, it's still dangerous. We'll need to be on alert.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's go save a homecoming king.
They creep quietly to the edge of the clearing, scanning the shadows for any sign of movement.
Andy? Andy, are you here?
I don't see him.
We see you.
A pair of amber flames shine in the shadow of the ruins. Tom steps into the light, holding Andy in front of him like a shield.
Andy! Oh my god!
Andy's left leg is bent at an unnatural angle, blood soaking the leg of his suit. He gasps in pain as Tom pulls him into the light.
Tom! What the hell? Snap out of it, buddy!
We've got Tom outnumbered. I bet we could take him down without any permanent damage.
It's risky. Do we have another option? Natasha managed to help Dan after all.
Natasha and Dan share a look.
What do you think?
I think with Andy's help, we could get through to him.
It's at least worth a try.
We have to try. We can't just leave a friend like this.
Dan smiles at Natasha, smiling gratefully.
Don't know about you guys, but I left my exorcism kit at home. How exactly are we gonna do this?
I know how.
Natasha steps forward. Tom bares his teeth at her and Andy struggles weakly against his grip.
Natasha! What are you doing?
It's gonna be okay, Andy.
Natasha turns to Tom. His grip on Andy tightens.
Stay back!
Hey, I'm not here to fight. Just... maybe you could ease up on Andy a little? He's pretty hurt.
Andy hurt?
Tom stares at Natasha, confused, then looks down. His eyes suddenly go wide and he drops Andy. Andy crumples to the ground. Natasha hurries over to him as Tom backs away, staring at Andy with a mix of horror and confusion.
Hurt Andy!
Natasha, what's wrong with him? How do we get him back?
You need to remind him of good memories and the love of your friendship with him.
How are you so sure this will work?
Because that's how I saved Dan. Remember the voice I keep hearing? That voice belongs to John Esphelius. He told me how to set them free.
No way.
Andy?
Andy nods, resolute. Gritting his teeth against the pain, he props himself up on his elbow so he can look at Tom.
Tom, do you remember the first time I cut my hair short? In 6th grade? That morning at school was hell. The other kids called me names. And the grown-ups kept giving me dirty looks. Do you remember what you did?
Tom cocks his head, his eyes darting suspiciously from Natasha to Andy.
You ran right up to me and ruffled my hair. And you said, Andy, look, we're twins.
Andy reaches out his hand and Tom shies away like a wild animal.
Tom, I don't think I ever told you, but you probably saved my life.
It's working.
I went through some really dark times, Tom. My parents did their best, but I could never talk to them the way I could talk to you. Without you, I'm honestly not sure I would be here right now.
Tom's eyes go wide. He stares at Andy's hand as if afraid it will bite.
He just needs one more little nudge. Andy, give Tom a hug.
As if by reflex, Andy hurries forward, reaching out to take Tom's hand.
Help Andy.
Carefully, Tom helps Andy into a sitting position. Andy watches in amazement as the color flows back into Tom's face.
There you go, buddy. Hang on, where the hell are we?
Natasha and Andy share a look. Tom looks from Natasha and Andy to the group of her friends standing nearby.
What are you guys all doing in the woods? In formal wear?
Monsters attack homecoming.
What?
Totally. Freaky plant dog zombie things with glowing eyes.
They dragged me all the way out here. Then these guys came to get me.
Okay, but monsters? Can we talk about how... Holy crap! Andy, what happened to your leg?
Tom crouches over Andy, staring in horror at the messy break. Andy puts a hand on his shoulder, giving him a weak smile.
Look, I swear I'll explain everything later. But right now, I need you to run out to the road and call an ambulance, okay?
Of course, I'll go right now.
Tom jumps to his feet, then hesitates.
You guys all take care of him, okay? This is my best friend we're talking about.
We'll protect him with our lives. Promise.
Cool.
Tom pulls his phone from his pocket and takes off into the trees. The rest of the friends come over to join Natasha and Andy.
Thank goodness. I was so scared that it wasn't going to work.
Warn me before you get all sappy next time. I thought I was gonna pass out.
Thanks, Natasha, for helping me get through to him.
You're welcome. But I'm pretty sure you did all the hard work.
Uh-oh. Do you hear that?
They listen, and suddenly the woods all around them are filled with the howls and angry shouts of Redfield's creatures.
I don't like the sound of that.
Me neither.
The tree line comes to life with monsters slowly closing in from all sides.
No more hiding.
Uh-oh.
Tell me you guys have a plan.
Save Andy and Dan was as far as we got.
No way we can fight through all that.
As they're forced back step by step toward the ruins, a voice calls out from the stone door.
Guys, this way!
Noah? Thank goodness you're okay! We were worried the monsters got to you!
I'm glad you're okay too. But these monsters are gonna get everyone if you guys don't get inside quick.
You want us to go in there?
You got a better idea?
The group looks at each other uncertainly.
I don't think we have a choice. You guys help Andy inside. I'll cover our retreat.
Be careful.
As Noah ushers everyone inside, Natasha starts the pole saw and turns to face the slowly advancing horde. Natasha gives ground one step at a time, eyes darting to any sign of fast movement.
Steady.
Hilda growls low in her chest, standing guard by the front door.
Get inside, girl. It's not safe.
Hilda growls again, but refuses to leave her post.
Natasha, come on! Everyone else is inside!
Reaper stands in the center of the clearing, facing down the tide of monsters with teeth bared. Natasha makes a break for the ruins. When she reaches the door, she turns back to take one last look at her pursuers.
Time to play.
Come on!
Nodding, Natasha steps through the door and into the dark space inside. Inside, Natasha stops in the middle of the room, squinting in the darkness.
Wait. Where is everybody?
Suddenly, Natasha hears the click of a gun. She slowly turns and Noah has a gun pointing at her.
They're all waiting for us downstairs.
Downstairs? You forced them to go downstairs? What the hell, Noah? Where are you going with this?
You do not get to question anymore.
You're giving Redfield what it wants! Why are you doing this?
Noah walks toward Natasha with the gun still pointing, smiling reassuringly.
Hey, it's okay. I figured it all out.
Huh? Figured what?
Natasha feels a sense of danger.
If I try to dodge him, he'll shoot me.
Noah suddenly lunges forward, grabbing Natasha with the gun pointing at her head.
Hey!
Natasha struggles from Noah's grip, and a cell phone falls out of his pocket.
What? That's Andy's phone. Why do you have his phone?
I needed everyone to come here. It's the only way.
Noah! You fucking traitor! I swear, if Redfield has hurt any of our friends, I'm going to...
You don't get it, Natasha.
He takes the safety off, ready to shoot her at any moment.
Redfield's not here anymore. He hasn't been here for 10 years.
Noah nods down at the floor, at the name Redfield carved into the stone. All around, the darkness thrums with energy. A cold presence fills the room. One that is both completely alien and terribly familiar.
No.
An unseen hand reaches out, drawing a thin line through the word that was written so many years ago. Natasha then remembers the vision in white and Jane crying there.